Hey guys out there, welcome to another day with PE Slick Podcast. It's your host, Ranger Matt. I'm thrilled to be back with another throwback soap star from the past. And this one means a lot to me this week because it's Mr. Kiko Ellsworth. Kiko played Jamal Woods on the former ABC soap Port Charles that aired from 97 till 2003. Kiko played Jamal Woods from 2000 until the ending of the show in 2003. He also played Stan on General Hospital. He was Blondie Dread on Bad Boys 2 and had many other roles. And I'm thrilled to have him come aboard today and talk with me about his time in acting and what he's currently doing today. And let me bring him aboard. Hey, Mr. Naylor, how you doing, man?
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Hey, Kiko.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, I can hear you real good.
Oh, good,
How's it
man. Good,
going?
man. I'm doing great, man. Thanks for your patience, man. We had a little meeting that ran late, man. So, but thank you for your patience, bro.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, listen, man. You don't know what it means to me to have you come on board, my brother. Because when I was in elementary, going into middle school, when Port Charles ended, I was a huge fan of that show, and you was one of my favorite characters when I watched it.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that, man. Hey, that's all good, brother. Much love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
man.
Kiko,
No doubt.
let me ask you this. This is something I ask all my guests on here. How are you and your family holding up during this pandemic?
Honestly, it's been the the best time in our lives, actually, and it's been a great opportunity for us to really go within and
Hmm.
really get clarity in here,
Right.
and that's been a wonderful opportunity to do that and really build from build and do the things that we're supposed to be doing from our heart and soul. And that's just great when you can, I think, when anyone can accept what's here and have the courage to start expressing it. That's what we're here for, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So, Kiko, man, let me ask you, where are you from?
I am from South Central Los Angeles, born and raised right here in the heart of LA. And yeah, and I just moved out of Los Angeles last year, up north, and into a place that's a little bit more uh, nature based.
Okay. So, in your early career, early in your life, before you got on Port Charles, when did you know that that was something you wanted to do as far as acting?
Let's see. I'll just start off. Before I never wanted to act growing up into my 20s.
Right.
Um, Bella and another friend of mine kept talking to me, talking my ear off at the gym. And
Hmm.
finally, after about 2 years, he had convinced me, and I still remember it was raining that day. He finally convinced me to see his commercial agent. And I said, fine, I'll go on and I'll talk, to them and just, whatever, nothing to lose. I heard about commercials, you can make some good money. So whatever, I'll do it. And so I went in
Right.
there and I just started talking to the agents, and they said, hey, well, if you want some agents, you have them. You probably should take some acting classes. That would probably be a good thing. Um, and I did, got on stage, and long story short, I got on this one stage and I had massive stage fright. And I was like, that's not cool. That's not me. Why am I so scared? I couldn't speak. I didn't have my voice.
Hmm.
And like my entire life has really been about like expressing myself, expressing my truth, finding my voice. And when I had that stage fright happen,
Right.
I got off that stage, I shook it off, and I said, okay, it's on now. It's on, baby. I was like, we going head to head. I was like, I'm gonna do this acting thing because I ain't backing down from this shit. You know what I'm saying? So so
Right.
yeah, that's how it started, man. And that's my love for it. My love was to be true to myself and to express myself truthfully. That's why I stuck with acting. And then from that point, after, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years or something, that's when Port Charles came.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you joined Port Charles back in 2000, how did they describe the character of Jamal Woods to you?
How did they what?
How did they describe the character of Jamal to you when you joined the show?
Well, I had agents at that time, and they put out a character description, and I don't remember specifically what it said as far as the character description, but I think it said like mid-20s, African American, a kid from the streets but with a good heart. It was something like that, and I was like,
Right.
that's me. And I think at that time I was 27 when I first got on the show. Yeah, and and then we just started rolling from there, and I started, getting. I definitely didn't want to be on a soap opera. I remember that. I was like, that's the last thing I want to be on. I was like, I want to be on the movies. So yeah, but the soap was the perfect start, and I'm so glad that I did that though.
Oh, I am too, and so is a lot of fans. I got a fan on here now who said, "Hey to you." He loved Jamal, and he loved you when you was staying on General Hospital as well, and said that Kiko still looks the same.
Thanks, man. Thank you for supporting and the love, man. Hopefully my work does some positive good, man. So I'm not done with
Yeah.
acting yet. We'll talk about that later on, but I always want my work to inspire people and to do good for people, So it ain't been perfect, but I'm doing my best, and I'm gonna be back for some more of that too.
Well, I gotta tell you, man. You don't know how much you guys touch a lot of people, but you don't know how much it touched me watching Port Charles because around the time you guys were on the air, I had a lot of stuff going on growing up as a kid, and one of the things going on was I was being bullied because of my weight. But coming home and watching Port Charles and a lot of other soap operas at the time, that led to me writing stories from watching you guys. I even made up my own show called WK. It was similar to Port Charles, except I didn't have vampires and angels, but it was similar to that. And
Yeah.
but it took off for me though. I made some short films. About 5 years ago, I did a short film that was played at the film festival at my school, and I'm still writing today. And watching soaps like you guys was a big part of that. And I just moved, but I'm gonna try to find it and send you a picture. I still have the ABC soap opera magazine when y'all was ending with all y'all in it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't even think I have that one, man. That'd be cool to see that.
Yeah. I'm gonna find it when I can, and I'm gonna take a picture, send it to you so you can see it, my brother.
Yeah, please do, please do. That'll be a nice little throwback, to the past.
So tell me, man, what was it like working with Aaron Hershey Presley, who was Allison, your first love?
Erin was a freaking lovely goofball. I loved her so much. She's so silly and so fun and so good-hearted. Just, she's like my little sister, basically. And we got along so great off the camera. And you probably could tell, on camera. You can always tell, in my opinion, like how someone gets along off camera. You can really tell if there's chemistry or if there's, real, like, heartfelt, like, love there. And yeah, she was dope. And sometimes, being that she was my little sister, but she was playing a love interest, that could be like a little conflict. So sometimes I'm like, come on, no. I was like, no, stop all that. We got to try to be sexy in about 10 minutes. So stop all this playing shit. It's like, we got to like get into this zone here. and so that would be like the only struggle sometimes. But she was great to work with, and we always had just so much fun.
Yeah, and it showed on screen. You know, it was you guys were like the four musketeers. You, Aaron, Brian Presley, and Kelly Monaco. You know, who was Livy and Jack as well. Hey there.
That's my daughter. She wasn't around when we was on the show. Yeah, we was.
Yeah. You know, you four was like the great musketeers, you know, and my earliest memories of watching you guys was y'all was doing scenes at the bike shop and y'all had scenes with the guy that played Zach, and Jack died but came back as a vampire.
Yeah,
uh, yeah.
yeah,
Um,
we like we really had some another again, you know, all of us coming together. We had us four, Kelly, Brian, Aaron, and myself. We just had some great chemistry, and we had a lot of fun working with each other. There was a lot of trust there. Our rooms were, you know, on the same floor. You know, our you know, our whatever rooms where we would, you know, wait until our scenes were at and stuff like that, and we would play games up there, go to each other's room. It was like the college years that I never had, and
right.
so yeah, that was a lot of that was really great synergy that we had the time that we had together.
Now I gotta say, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I wanted to ask you. Now when Port Charles got to a point when they did the books, and when y'all got to Tainted Love, what was your reaction when y'all started doing stuff with vampires when Michael Easton joined the show?
Um, I, I, I think that I wasn't a big fan of like. I think I was cool with it. I think I remember being cool with it. But I was like, but just don't make me a vampire. I was like, that's cool. Let's do all that, but like, I want to stay like human. Like, let's just do that, okay? And so it was cool. And I remember, I think the fans or we were getting some sort of feedback where like it wasn't totally catching. And then I
Hmm.
remember like when I became a vampire, like I woke up one time and I was a vampire in the show, and I was like, damn, they got me, you know. And then and then it was like the show ended like shortly after that. I was like, all right, well, whatever, it's all good. But then after that, I think maybe not even 2 years later, that's when the whole vampire movie trilogy got like really big. Was like a year or two after we did ours, because we were getting
Hmm.
like shit for it. And then 2 years later, it's the biggest thing. They put it on movies and stuff like that and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah, c'est la vie, right?
right. And it's interesting because my mother used to watch Port Charles too because she was a night nurse because it came on at night in Baltimore
Oh yeah.
really late at 1:30 in the morning. I don't know why it came on so late, but she used to watch it, and then I got hooked. And that's one thing she said afterward. It was like, Port Charles could work now with all this vampire stuff we got going on now here.
Yeah, they can bring it back now. Bring back the replays now.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I gotta admit, bro, I gotta tell you, when they brought Michael back and y'all did the vampire thing again, where you and Ian and everybody became vampires, I gotta admit, I was a little 50-50 about it because y'all had already kind of did that already, and Michael came back. It was nothing against Michael Easton or Caleb or none of that, but it felt like the show took a different approach at this point because Port Charles was known for being the nurses and the doctors, and toward the end of the show's run, it was like the vampires versus the angels, and everybody was a vampire, good versus evil.
Mm.
It was a really different show toward the end, and I was a little 50-50 about it, especially when they made Torsten K, Ian, and then you became a vampire. I was like, is everybody gonna be vampires now? Even Amanda Barrington was a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, they you know, you do what you can. Like, I'm sure that I was kind of 50-50 about it, obviously, as well too. But when you're creating a show and when you're trying to lead the way and going in new directions, you experiment and you take risks, and you're not afraid to make mistakes. And in fact, you say, no, we're gonna gamble, and this is either gonna hit big or it's gonna fall. And it did what it did, but I wouldn't have changed anything. I wouldn't have wanted necessarily to play it safe. I'm like, go for it, because that's how I run my life too. I was like, if I have something that I want to do, like, I'm gonna go for it, and
Right.
I'm not gonna be afraid to hold on to what I have when I truly want to actually go and spread my wings somewhere else. So,
Right.
I just never been that way, so which is why, which is one of the reasons why, like, when the show ended, I was like, great, it's cool. It's cool. Because I wasn't renewing my contract anyway, because I wanted to just spread my wings and just do something else. And I loved working with the show and everything, but just the same character, I couldn't imagine doing the same character for like another 3 years or 4 years or anything like that. And I
Right.
wanted to, I wanted to do film, and I wanted to do episodic, and I wanted to do these different characters, because, again, remember, I started acting not for a career necessarily, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I really, to be true to myself, like, I started to express myself truthfully, right?
Right.
And it's like, I have more to express. Jamal is great. This is one thing I want to express, but I have other things that I need to express. I need to express other things. And so yeah, and I'm doing that now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, and your career continued to grow, man. 'Cause I gotta tell you, until somebody revealed it, I did not know you was Blondie Dread in Bad Boys 2 when it first came out.
Yeah.
Man, what was it like shooting with Martin and Will Smith, man?
Man, that was off the that was just off the chain, bro. That was just hold on one second. Let me make sure
Okay.
I don't get disturbed again. Um that was some of the most fun that I had ever in my entire career. I always enjoyed playing bad guys.
Hmm.
And that was, for me, the ultimate expressive bad guy for me. And
Right.
I remember the inspiration for that role. This is probably going back. I don't know if you've seen this movie. Have you seen that movie, True Romance?
Man, I think I seen it once a couple of years ago when I was a little younger, but I haven't seen it recently, so I do not remember it.
So, anyways, that was the inspiration. Probably a year or two before I even got that role, as I saw
Hmm.
True Romance, and
Right.
my favorite character in that film was Gary Oldman, and he played Drexel, the pimp.
Right.
That was just the pimp in the film. He had all the hookers, and he was all the drugs, and you know what I'm saying. And I saw this white man, one of my favorite actors, this white man, this English white guy, playing a street gangster better than a lot of street gangsters could play it them damn selves. And I saw him, and he had his dreads or his blonde and everything, and I was like, I want to play a character like that. Like, I want to play a bad character like that, And
Right.
lo and behold, not too long after, I got the opportunity to do the Bad Boys 2 role with the Blondie Dread, which was, in a sense, my heart's expression of that Gary Oldman role. And but working with Will and Martin, man, Will is dope. I got to work with Will a lot more. But Will was cool. I met his dad. I mean, what you see is what you get with him, man. He's just a real upfront, heartfelt dude. And we had a lot of deep
Hmm.
spiritual conversations off camera. Um, and just it was just dope. It was just like chatting, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's none of that Hollywood stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you know, I really admire his leadership as a man, as an actor, as a celebrity and stuff like that. So yeah, it was great, man. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, bro. And some amazing when I ate some of the best salmon lunches they had, man. When I was eating salmon, oh man. I mean, I'm plant-based now, but still, that food was so good, just make my mouth water, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm. Well, I gotta tell you, man, you played the heck out of that character, man. You know, the idea of him, Will's in the room with you with a gun in your head, you're like, I don't know nothing, and he shoots the camera. The devil is not welcome here. You know, you played the heck out of that character, man. I like
well,
that what you did.
well, man, thank you, man. Like the behind the backstory on that was they actually wrote that character as like a Jamaican character. So when I had the lines and I was auditioning, it was
Yeah,
literally a Jamaican character. But then I got on set and I was like, oh, I'm in Miami, and I got a Haitian. The gang around me, my gang is Haitian. I'm like, Haitian and Jamaican ain't the same thing. And so I was like, I prepared a Jamaican accent, and then on set, thank God I had a real Haitian crew. They were training me in, you know, how to say things in Haitian and stuff like that, because man, I had no idea. But you know,
yeah,
that's life. And as long as you can be flexible, don't complain, just be flexible and do the best you
right.
can. You know, I think we're all improv, and it's all a big improvisation life. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is like guaranteed. Every day we improving. So,
Yeah,
you know, that's what that was. So yeah, man. But that was a great time, man. Maybe I'll do some bad guy stuff like that again. You know what I'm saying? Who knows?
yeah. I gotta tell you, man, I forgot to email this to you the other day. A couple weeks ago, I saw you on TV. You had did 2 episodes of the TV show Half and Half. I forgot you was on there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Man, that was a long time ago. I don't even know what year I did that in. Half and Half. Man, that
You
must
did
have been
one in
2004.
2003. Yeah, wrong. You did one in 2003 and one in 2004. Your character name was Clay.
Yeah, the foot fetish dude. Yeah.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
So,
I remember I got that role when I went in for that role. I got that role because I literally put my butt in the casting director's face. The same
mhm.
thing I did in the show. And they was like, "Oh yeah, that's hilarious. We gotta get this role to you." Yeah, that was some fun stuff right there, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Um, I didn't ask you this. A couple of things I didn't ask you about. Here's the first one. Joy Bisco played Casey and Marissa on the show, and you got to work with her when she was Marissa. You didn't work with her as Casey. Ricky did. You was with her as Marissa, and y'all had some kissing scenes when y'all made out. What was it like working with her? Well, they broke up you and Allison. She went with Rafe, and then you got with Marissa. What was that like working with somebody new?
Oh, good. I'm glad that you like reminded me of like like of who's who and what happened in the timeline. Keep doing that, because like I don't remember, and I'm glad you like sparking my memory.
Well, you
But
know what? Hold on. I'll do you one better. Let me turn my phone around real quick. Here we go.
Woo! That's me. Wait, that's me. Damn.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh shit, you have me crying over here. Oh shit. Damn. Damn, that was me. Was that me?
Yeah.
That was me.
That was.
Oh shit. Oh my God. Man. We was kissing.
Yeah, yeah. And it continued. It continued after that, y'all. That was
I
when
bet
y'all.
it did. Woo, I was young, man. Yo. Well, I mean, from the looks of it, it looked fine. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't have any complaints. So,
obviously.
okay.
But
Uh, so she's married to a friend of mine now. I know her husband and everything. So that's where that's at. Just a little backstory. And Aaron's married, obviously, to Brian and everything, stuff like that. And then
yeah,
Kent also is married to another friend of mine as well, too. So, like, a little backstory about everyone that I was with is with somebody that I know. I don't know why.
okay.
But Joy, that seemed like that was cool and fun. From what you showed me, looked like it was easy to drop into that role. And but Joy again. Joy is dope. She was like my little sister. I mean, we would like play box constantly, and just every time we were just going to lunch or went to the commissary or something like that, we would just it was like bosom buddies. Like she was my
Yeah,
little sidekick. She was like, I was Batman, she was Robin. You know what I'm saying? We would just be like doing our thing. She would like, going back at me and stuff like that. Like she would just keep it real. Like she's dope. And she's still dope.
yeah,
She's the homie. You know what I mean? And that's the best. That's just the
yeah.
best, man.
All right, hold on. You about to laugh again? Here we go. Here's something
Oh
else for you
shit.
here. Here we
Oh
go.
man, I got the tanky.
Be here until the next one. What? Look, why don't you just let me do it my way, right? And you can do it your way. I'm sorry. I so didn't. No, I don't do it. I'm serious. Don't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, don't. I'm serious. Hey, don't.
And here you go again. Here you go again. You and Brian.
Uh-oh. We fighting?
Yep.
I knew it.
Stay out of my life. Don't you understand? Huh, Jack? You're not fooling anybody, Jamal. I'm not trying to.
I remember that.
Being a domesticated work like you.
I remember that. I remember that straight punch to his face. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was some intense scenes you and Brian had, and there's some fun. Well, that was after Valerie had died at that point, and Jamal had kind of went on another road, but he had kind of helped you snap out of it after that fight y'all had.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
I gotta tell you, man, I was so much of a fan of Port Charles. I used to tape the show, and when y'all ended and Soap Net re-aired y'all again from Port Charles' fate until the end, I taped every episode. Yeah, I taped like everything Port Charles at that point, so I was a huge fan of the show. So it
Wow.
still am.
Is that from your recording archives as well?
No, no,
Or is
no,
that
no.
YouTube?
Somebody a few years, about 3 years ago, posted like every episode of Port Charles on YouTube. So it's all on YouTube now.
Oh, cool. I got to show my daughter. I'll be like, look, baby. This is what I looked like about 2 centuries ago, right here when I was around your age. Yeah, she gonna trip. She gonna be like, that's you, Daddy. That's you. Yeah, I'm gonna show her some of that stuff tonight, man.
Man, so I gotta ask you now, man. What was your reaction when you found out the show was ending in 2003?
I mean, I was like, all right. I mean, like I said, it was like I knew that I wanted to do other things anyway. I
Hmm.
didn't want it to end the show itself. Um,
Right,
I knew that I wanted to do some other things, but I wasn't wishing ill will on the show, obviously.
right.
But you know, it was just one of those things where you're like, we were like, all right, I guess we're probably not coming back after this, hiatus over the summer. And that's when me and Kent, who played Imani, started studying self-defense. And
Oh,
we started studying self-defense with the same instructor. And we just started learning that. And that's where she met. And we were, this group of people training. And that's where she ended up meeting somebody that I knew her husband probably like 7, 8, 9, 10 years before she even met her husband. But we all started training together doing self-defense. And
right.
and then they ended up getting married a few years after, like, we trained self-defense, because we trained for about like 3 years together. And then after that, everyone went kind of on their separate ways a little bit.
Right.
But I think she had met him like shortly at the end of that or something. And but that was sort of the flow of how things were happening, man.
Man, now it's ironic that it ended just as they brought you a new love interest in Kent, because I was curious to see where the character of Imani was going to go, because she was so mysterious, and Jamal would follow her around, and because they did the ring storyline where you had Caleb's magic ring and you wished for her to come and she fell through the ceiling in your apartment, and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she fell onto me on my bed.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw that, when I saw that, I was like, can I go buy a ring and make a wish so that can happen to me? I want a female to fall through the roof on my bed.
Not just any female, Imani.
Yeah.
or something that's like Imani. All the energy, the look, the class, the caliber, all that stuff. Yes.
Man. So somebody just texted me and reminded me, I forgot to ask you, you also worked a lot with Ricky Garza, Eddie Montez.
Yeah. On the show, Port Charles. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Are you still in touch with Aaron and Brian or Ricky, any of them from the show?
Well, Kent, yeah. Kent is we're really close. We definitely stay in touch on a regular basis. Kent is we're gonna be in each other's lives for the rest of our lives. She has a child, that they have together, and I'm friends with them. We're like this.
Right.
We don't see each other all the time, but we're not gonna go anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brian, I haven't talked to Aaron in a while. I've seen Brian occasionally throughout the years, and I haven't talked to Eddie. I haven't seen Eddie in years, actually. So really,
Okay.
I think, and I haven't talked to Kelly either. But we're all on good terms. But you just kind of vibrate where you vibrate. But yeah, Kent's my sis. She's my girl. She's doing some good things, man. That's my sis, my soul sis right there.
Yeah. Well, I guess you and Kent kind of could. Well, I was going to say y'all kind of continued a little bit because you played Stan on General Hospital for a brief while, and you
Yeah.
worked with Sony. You played your mother Epiphany on the show.
Sonia Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's another sister right there. Another soul sister right there, man. Good people. Just good people. Great heart, great energy, just want to do good in the world, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's the
Yeah.
type of people that I really appreciate working with. The people that actually, just have at least a decent heart, a good heart, and want to do good for other people, and really making efforts to truly do that.
Right. So, can you tell me a bit about your current work today with your healing? Well, your coaching, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same thing. It's healing, it's coaching, it's teaching, it's training. I mean, it's all it's all in the effort and intention to get back to ourselves,
Hmm.
and that's really what it's all about. And so basically, I left entertainment. I dropped all my agents, my manager, voiceover agent, all that stuff, um, because I just knew that I needed to have a real foundation for my life, my own spiritual foundation. I needed to really
Right.
uncover and discover what that is. And while I was doing Port Charles, leading up to Port Charles, after Port Charles, I didn't have that. And but you know, in 2008, I got married, and that's being in that relationship. Even a few years before that, that was with the woman that who's still my soulmate. We're not together right now, but she's definitely my soulmate. We had a child together. Even outside of that, I knew she was my soulmate even before that. And but she had what I wanted. Like, she had her sense of her own spirituality. She had her own knowing of herself.
Right.
And we got married, and I was in school again. And that next decade and a half was all about learning how to heal myself, how to be myself, create my own spiritual foundation. And then I got into Kundalini yoga and learn how to breathe and just center myself, and all this yoga, meditation, breath work. And I finally, built my own foundation within me, my own spiritual foundation, and been building from that ever since. And one of the things that so I established a school called Ma'at University, and it's transformational learning for under-resourced communities. So basically, like where I grew up in the hood, it's transformational learning for like for the people where I grew up around, where we don't have access to lots of yoga or techniques on how to actually heal ourselves and things like that.
Right.
So we just created the school, Ma'at University, and there's lots of different modalities and yoga and training. And so I'm in the middle of still building that up and bringing on other instructors and crafting different programs. Like, we have an event coming up called Evolving Men of Color, and that's coming up January 16th, and that's an all-day summit, a virtual summit that's hosted, by our school. And we're sharing and celebrating the men of color, and really showing us tools and practices and workshops, panels, celebration, music, drumming, things like that, that really remind us of who we are and give us the tools on how to stay true to ourselves. And
Right.
so, and working, so building the school, and then also specifically for the next several years working with men of color, so we can remember how beautiful, how divine, how sensitive, how powerful that we are as divine beings. And as we learn how to treat ourselves and see ourselves that way, and truly love ourselves, and what that really looks like on a day-to-day basis, and knowing ourselves, we get to therefore truly love and appreciate, respect, and protect women in our lives, and families and children, and so on and so forth, radiating out into the world. So my work right now is with men, and then in the next, you know, so as this is being established, entertainment's going to start laying back on top of that. But I had to move away from entertainment to really do my life's work, and this is without a doubt, the foundation of my life's work.
Well, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm proud of what you're doing to help people. and I hope that continues to grow because we need people out here that can help and reach people, you know, and I'm I'm thankful for you for doing that. Where do you see the world? Well, with everything that's been going on this year, with the protesting and with the COVID, I mean, where do you see the world going into next year?
Uh, Plain and simple, love wins. It always has. It always will. But it's a bumpy road to getting there. But at the end of the day, love wins, and so we just got to know that. So as we work through whatever we got to work through to clear whatever we need to clear. I mean, it's kind of like sitting on the toilet, and it's like you're like, oh man, shit, it's a big one. Oh, you start shaking and sweating, right?
Yeah,
And it's toxic. It's toxins. But you shaking, you're like, oh man, I gotta clear it. I gotta clear it. I gotta clear it. But you shaking and it comes out and it hurts. But then you clear it. You're like, whoo, I'm about to go run around the block a few times now, right?
yep,
That's what I see this is. It's the same thing. It's toxic. There's a lot of toxic stuff that we need to clear. And it's gonna hurt somewhat as we clear this stuff from our country and from our world. But it will clear. It has to. Because the only way forward is love, consciousness, light, righteousness, truth, order, balance, harmony, reciprocity, and order. That's the only way forward. Everything else, it's not possible. It's not sustainable. Nothing else is
right,
sustainable. The things that are eternal is Ma'at, which is why I actually named it, Ma'at University. It's just that truth. That order, that harmony, that balance. So, I know things are happening in the world right now, but it doesn't distract from the truth. And we need to handle what we need to handle, but it doesn't distract and it doesn't change the end result.
there you go. See, this is why you got to run for president, man, or mayor, man. You know how to.
let me just do the school first, and we talk about that like in about a decade. I'll probably do that when I'm, give me about 10 years or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me build up to that. Yeah, man.
I used to try to copy off you a little bit because next to Bow Wow at the time, you had braid like plaits when you was on Port Charles. I used to try to
Oh
plait my hair similar to yours, and then your afro was a little long when you was on GH. So I was like, let me try to get mine like that, man.
yeah. Well, now it's still
Yeah,
long now. I got a little thing happening here now, man. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I got the point happening now. It's the pyramid. It's the pyramid. I'm committed. My
On point,
University, baby. My University. Boom. Yeah, man.
man. Let me ask you, man, what kind of music do you like?
Oh man. Uh, it's I'm so eclectic. I'm so worldly, you know. But when you talk about music that moves my soul and my ass, I'm talking about live. It's live, soulful, African jazz, djembe, drums. You know, uh, where men are singing live, women are singing live. Even there's also I can't think of the name right now, but there's also some Middle Eastern music that has the same soul as well. I love that primal real music, because it's the type of music where you can say I can feel the people behind that are creating this. I can feel the life force energy, and
Right.
that's and I get moved automatically from that. Like I can't even help. I just I just start moving. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. Let me see. I might have something. I might have a little something like this lady I just got in touch with. I don't even know if my internet's working on here. It might not be. But that's okay. Yeah, I don't think my internet's working. But like this lady is so creative right here. Her name is Rokia Traore. And I'm gonna let you listen to a few seconds.
Okay.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's her right here. So that I just discovered this not too long ago, like today actually. But I love just discovering new music like this. And first of all, I love hearing women sing that are connected to their voice, especially in the sense of their true essence, whether they be from Africa or things like that, or
Okay.
so different music like that. Like I'm not a big fan of like how the eclectic the sort of like the techno-ish of this. I'm not a big fan of the techno-ish, but I am a big fan of like who's singing and her creativity on her words and her soul behind it. So I can overlook these musical tracks for the singer itself, the soul that she
Right.
has and the creativity. So it just depends on the track, and I move and ebb and flow depending on what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was digging it. You know, it was soothing. You know, so I could dig it. I dig it.
Yeah,
Man.
man.
I got a fan on here who just asked you a question. Who was a fan of Port Charles as well. He was asking, what was it like working with Lynn Herron as Lucy and John Lindstrom as Kevin?
Um, I didn't work with them a lot, and at the time we were so young, and they were always referring to us as the kids, and they were the adults. So we were kind of rebellious, if I remember correctly. But
Mm-hmm.
Lynn was all, but those two specifically, Lynn was always so she had like a duality, and I'm sure she's still that way. You know, obviously she's beautiful, but she had this. I think she remembers she had horses, and so she had this other tough side to her that really balanced out who she was as a woman, which I really appreciate with many women, which is when they have access to that fierce side, yet that gentle side as well. And so yeah, she was always really grounded and very cool. John, I actually every now I still stay in touch with John. I've seen him at certain events, and on social media we're still like in touch, and we communicate every now and again. And I like
Mm-hmm.
who John is as a person. Um, I didn't really know him that well back on the show, but now that I've grown up and we've kind of moved away from the show, I actually get to see more. We get to see more of who each other is now. But he
Right.
was always cool back in the show. But I was a kid, and they were the adults, and I didn't really know him that well back then. But we're cool now for sure. Yeah, I like him.
I'm just laughing because I was thinking about that because when it was you and Aaron and Kelly and Brian, I guess y'all were kind of considered the new generation, and they were
Yeah,
the adult. So when you said it, it just came. I was thinking about that.
we was all in our 20s, and I was the oldest one, and I think I was 28, and everyone else was younger than me. Everyone else was like, I don't know, 24, 25, 26, and I was like 27, 28, something like that. But we were all the
Right.
kids then. We were all the kids. And they would always say the kids about us, what you talking about? I'm like 29. I'm 29. I ain't no kid. I'm the oldest one. You know?
You know, I get that in my job too. You know, I'm a delivery driver. And whenever they say you're a generation of kids, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm gonna be 30 next year. I ain't 21. I ain't no little kid now. When I was growing up as a kid back in the 90s, there was no Facebook or DVDs. It was videotapes.
There you go. So you were the real tail end of I like to call the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man. So Kiko, I gotta ask you, man. I've asked some other guests I've had on too. With Christmas coming, what do you love about Christmas time?
I don't celebrate Christmas, man.
Oh, okay.
It's not my
Next
thing. Next question.
Okay. Oh man. So but I'm gonna turn my phone around. I got some more throwbacks for you. And then I'm
Oh,
gonna bring you
okay.
back. Here we go. Here's something with you and Brian again. Let me see here. Let me turn that on. Okay. You're about to come up.
Was that me?
Yeah, that was you.
Oh yeah.
That was when he was first became a vampire. Let me see.
Oh yeah.
That's you.
Oh man. Man, I haven't seen that stuff in decades. Wow. Man, my grandmother videotaped every single show.
Ah, boy. Oh, up. Ah, man. Well, hold on. Let me get him back on here. Wait a minute. Oh, boy. Mm-mm-mm. Okay.
There we go. Hey, I
All right.
gotta roll. I gotta roll in a few minutes. I gotta
Okay.
go. I gotta go get some wood because me and my daughter are doing a bonfire outside before it gets too late.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to show you three more clips, and I was going to ask you one more question, then let you go. And then
All
I
right,
had
cool,
some.
cool, cool.
Technical difficulties on my end.
It's the regular. It's the world we live in, man. Let's do it, brother.
All right, man. This is you, Aaron, and Michael right here.
What is wrong with the men in this town? You can't stop me. And your women can't resist me. Where were we? How does it feel? Having to watch.
So that's one. Let me see. Second
My
one.
butt getting thrown up against the wall. I'm glad I had a stunt double. Let me see the next one. Maybe it'll be happier times.
All right. Here the happy time. This is you right here at one of them PC fan events hugging the fan. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
That was Nolan North as Chris Ramsey being funny at the Port Charles event y'all had.
Oh yeah. I love Nolan, man. That's the fan events. I think that was in Studio City at the Sportsman's Lodge. Yep.
Yeah. And last clip for you. This is the very last scene you and Kent had on Port Charles when it was ending.
Oh.
Yeah, I found it. Here it is right here.
You gotta send that to me.
No, I'm not gonna let Wilson run away on me again. No, Jamal, look. No, you answer my question.
I am answering your question. Look. Tell me what you see.
Fine. So what do you think I see? I see a moon, okay? A full moon. A big, fat, round, romantic, full. Like, hey, Monty.
She became a werewolf.
Yeah, man. That was the setup. That was the setup right there. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You got to send me that one. I want to see that last episode.
I will. I sure will. I think you had said that in the interview around that time that if Port Charles had continued, it was going to be werewolves because of what happened there.
Oh yeah. Werewolves and vampire. But you know, that started the trend. Apparently, that's what the movie was. Right after that, it was werewolves and vampires.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, Kiko, I gotta say, man, it's been a pleasure having you come on my podcast, man. Like I said earlier, and in the middle as well, thank you for what you did as playing Jamal on Port Charles. I was a big fan of yours all the way. I loved all you guys, and I was disappointed when it ended. But you know, and I followed you when you went on Half and Half and GH for the brief while, and Bad Boys too. But you know, I'm glad of what you're doing today, and I was a fan of yours then. I'm a fan of yours today, man. Thank you, my brother, for what you've done.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I'm just here to make a positive difference in the world, man. And hopefully my life can serve to help out in some particular way, man. That's what I'm here for, man. And much love, man. Thank you for that love, support. I love you as a brother, man. Thank you for what you do as well.
And I gotta tell you, man, you still look young, man. You still like the young Jamal Woods from Port Charles, man. Like I said, when I was in middle school, I was starting middle school when y'all ended. Next year I'll be 30.
Wow. Well, I think that's the cocoa butter. That's the cocoa butter and sunshine. A little bit. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, brother. Anytime, man. I'm sure. Just reach out anytime, man. I'm always here, brother.
Hey, no problem. And listen, you and your daughter, y'all have fun tonight. You know, build that fire, stay warm, stay safe out there, and God bless you guys. And yes, I will definitely reach back out to you again. I am friends with Brian Gasco on Facebook, who played Rafe on the show.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with Brian too. Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah. So I definitely will have you back, man. So hey,
Beautiful.
y'all stay safe. Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving, and everything. And thank you, my man.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Much love. You too, man. God bless.
God bless you too.
Peace.
Peace out. Well, guys, thank you for watching this podcast with me. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Next week I will not have a guest because it is Thanksgiving, but next month I'm going to have Tina Sloan come back, who played Lillian on Guiding Light. We're going to talk about her book, Chasing Cleopatra, and some more memories of Guiding Light. And I'm going to have Toby Poser and one other from Guiding Light come back. It's going to be like the Spalding reunion episode, where Toby, who hasn't really seen a lot of the cast in a while, she's going to reunite with one of the co-stars from Guiding Light. But any Port Charles fans, thanks for watching. Kiko, if you're still watching, thank you, man. Again, you touched me growing up a lot, you and all of them, and I miss you guys. But hey, until next time, this is Ranger Matt signing off. Have a good one now.